Hello, so tonight we are with Elvira that we met thanks to the website Warm Showers. So she's a cyclist too and she's hosting us for the night in Stockholm. So hello Elvira, can you tell us a bit about you or the trips you did and kind of things?
Yeah, hi. Okay, so my name is Elvira, and last summer I biked from France, or Nice in France, so not that far in France, to Montenegro, through Italy, Slovenia, Croatia, and Bosnia as well. And yeah, it was the most amazing trip I've ever done, so I really just want to keep biking. It's the best thing you could do.
Okay, so yeah, it seems a very long and amazing trip. Or how long did you bike for this trip?
I biked for 4 weeks, some resting days.
And it's like you told me something like 2,500 kilometers. That's it.
Yeah, 2,700.
Quite impressive. Yeah, and you were all alone. So.
Yeah, I was alone for 3 weeks, but for about 1 week my sister joined me, but then we couldn't bike so much because her bike was pretty bad, but you, Lucy and Maxime have bike, but pretty much the same bikes anyway, so that's very tough.
Yeah, but we were not in the very hilly area, so that's why we managed to do it.
Still.
And how many kilometers did you used to do every day?
It did vary depending on the terrain, but everything from 80 kilometers to 200 kilometers.
Yeah.
And
so
yeah.
You started in the morning or more in the afternoon, or?
I always try to start in the morning, and I pretty much always did, but I had breaks during the day and afternoon, so I always ended up setting camp at between midnight and 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
In the end.
Yeah, so you were traveling a lot in the day.
At least you were like avoiding when it was too warm and all, because
yeah, that was really nice. I really recommend to bike at nighttime if it's really hot outdoors, and the roads are less crowded, and it's really nice to have all the stars just shining upon you.
Yeah, very nice. And
yeah, was it your first trip, or you have already made other bike travel before?
It was my first bigger trip. The only trip I did before was only for like 2 days, 1 night in the woods. So it pretty much was my first trip. I didn't really know what I was getting into, but it all worked out. So.
Yeah, and you told me before that you didn't plan all the routes before, so you came to a country that you had decided before, and then you just biked. Like, how did you choose the route of the day? Randomly or?
Yeah, I had the country set out, so then I just thought every day I would make maybe like a waypoint for the day, or for the upcoming days. So maybe I wanna try to get myself to this city or this town today.
Okay.
Like that, and then I saw like, okay, which road should be good, and it just came kind of randomly.
So you were kind of free, and you did the roads that you wanted to do, like just to go from one city to another that you wanted to see.
Yeah,
and
I did.
You took some time to visit the cities, or you just passed through quickly? Or?
I'd say I took some time, but not that much time. For example, I was in Verona, but only for maybe in the day, like 3 hours, so I still biked 140 kilometers that day. But I had a tourist day kind of for a while. Yeah. But that was like how I visited towns mostly. But for some days I stayed longer to visit national parks or something, to hike a bit. That was really nice.
When you were visiting these kind of countries, were you letting your bike somewhere with your bags, or you were taking everything with you and walking, or visiting on your bike, or what kind of tourist were you in the cities?
Both. In Verona I was the biking tourist, but in some other towns I actually let the bike just standing on the street with my panniers. The first days I was so worried about this. I would bring all of my panniers inside when, for example, shopping, and I would just hit all the groceries to the ground, and the cashier would look annoyed at me. So I just realized, okay, I'm not gonna bring them inside anymore.
Yeah.
And I learned to trust people.
It was a bit the same for us. We were
Yeah.
a bit worried, and we tend to let our things in a place where we could see it from a window, for example. But at the end, if we think about it backwards, we never. I think we wouldn't have any problem because people won't steal our clothing or food or the things we carry in our bags, which are not very precious or anything. So
Yeah, that's what you realize.
maybe it's not maybe it's not necessary to be so worried about our stuff. Maybe about our bikes, but you have to be sure that they can't be stolen.
But did you bring a special bag for valuable stuff, like your phones, wallet?
Like
You had a special place for it that you could just...
Yeah, we had our backpacks because we had backpacks, which is not a very good idea. We would not recommend it, but maybe
That's impressive though, to bike with those.
Yeah, but it's not the best idea. And so you were traveling alone. Did you feel lonely sometimes, or you were happy with yourself? Or
I felt lonely a few times, but only for a short moment. Most of the time I was just really happy, because I think the benefit of traveling alone is that you get a lot of freedom to stop when you would like to, and you also meet a lot of people, so I didn't really feel alone most of the time. But I think the only time I actually felt lonely was in a hostel with a lot of other teenagers, and I felt a bit of like an outsider. But then I met another cyclist after 1 hour, so that was the end of the loneliness.
Okay. And you felt mostly safe during this trip, or you felt some threats sometimes? Or
I did feel safe most of the time. I had some encounters with men on the street.
Okay.
Not very nice, but yeah, I was pretty safe. And yeah.
Okay.
I feel like the most common approach was like, oh, young girl, we gotta take care of her. So I got a lot of help from people, and people were really helpful and nice.
That's nice.
So that's the benefit of being a girl alone, I think.
And also about being alone on the way, how did you find places to sleep? Were you in campings, or did you try to sleep at the people houses, or in the forest, like wild camping, or a combination of everything?
Yeah, it was a combination of everything. I was really, really scared of wild camping in the beginning, because I thought I would be caught by the police. I got some warnings from other people, being really afraid. So in the beginning I did both a lot of hostels, and I also got invited to a lot of people's houses just by meeting them on the street, kind of. But then I got more and more secure. I started sleeping on the street and on beaches, and then I even dared to pitch my tent, because I realized now nobody's gonna find my tent in the woods. So I got more and more secure with wild camping.
Yeah, because wild camping is allowed in some countries. For example, in our trip we were in Sweden, in Norway.
Not in Denmark, for example.
In Denmark it was illegal, but
it is in Denmark.
Yeah, you have special places where you can wild camp, but it's kind of controlled. But in Sweden, in Norway, you can sleep everywhere you want, but you have to take care that it's not bothering the people who live there, and that you are not staying too long, and that you are not polluting, of course. So if you are respectful of the people and the environment, you can basically doing it. But for example, in France, it's not allowed, or you told me it was not allowed in Croatia, or...
Yeah, in Croatia it was the strictest of all. You could actually be charged with hundreds of euros for wild camping.
Wow.
And the police was actually pretty much everywhere. They were looking at the beaches near the towns. But
so yeah, don't do wild camping on beaches in Croatia.
But you can sleep under the stars though. That's
yeah.
So did you check before going which countries were okay with wild camping?
Yeah, I actually did that. I planned pretty well, but I was still like, I heard so many people being like, oh, but it's okay anyway. But for specifically Croatia, a lot of people were warning. So I was really afraid of that country in wild camping sentence.
Okay, so your trip in Europe was a very good experience, I think. Are you planning a new trip?
Yeah, I am actually planning to leave in March. As for now, I'm working to save up money for that. So I'm planning a pretty big trip crossing Eurasia, which has been my dream for 6 years,
Wow.
I think. So
Dream come true.
yeah, hopefully we'll see. Shouldn't say too much yet.
So you will go from Sweden to China if you can do it?
Yeah, pretty much like that, or to Mongolia. I haven't decided yet which route to take, but I really want to see Central Asia, because there is a legendary highway called Pamir Highway M41, which is every cyclist's dream pretty much. It goes through the mountains and valleys, and yeah, really cool. And
Amazing.
the countries there, nobody really knows of them, so it should be really interesting to go and find out.
Wow. Okay.
Looks amazing.
So we were really happy to talk with you about your trips, because we were really impressed when we saw your description on warm showers, because in 1 month you did like 2,500 kilometers
In so many countries.
in so many
Countries are
countries.
small though.
For us it was only
These
we would say
countries are
only
big.
1,500, but we were already really proud of ourselves. So yeah,
You
it's good
should
to meet other people and to see how they did it and how much they rode every day and how they slept, to share experiences. And we hope you were interested with this interview and that you will follow the adventures of Elvira if we give you some news about it. Bye.